Hi, I'm Kacie here with AltAZ933 and Jack Antonoff here to talk about the upcoming tour with Bleachers in support of Take the Sadness Out of Saturday Night. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Are we all home? Are you at home?
Yeah, I'm at home and I'm just in the studio, which is at home.
Nice setup.
Yeah, could be worse.
So are you working on more music right now for yourself?
Working on a bunch of things. Just I'm in one of these sort of messing around phases, trying lots of different things.
Absolutely. So the last few days have probably been a little weird for you. I have to ask really quick about the hit piece and the NFT thing. I know, I have to ask.
It's very odd, and it's
How did you find out that your stuff was even being
I
put on there?
follow my Instagram is basically like my friends, my family, and then like 5 or 6 like Bleachers accounts of like people who've been following the band for a long time who are often more aware of things than I am. It's really helpful sometimes with stuff like this where you're like, so they kind of find the stuff and let me know right away, call my manager right away. It was just like, get this shit taken down. Like it's
So for people who don't know, I only half understand what NFTs are. Let me preface that. But this site, Hit Piece, was saying that they had all these NFTs from not just you, but several other artists. They did not have permission to do so. I guess you're
yeah, they were
supposed to.
selling unauthorized Bleachers NFTs. So I just really quickly explained they weren't authorized. And I understand NFTs quite a bit, and I at the moment am not interested in doing anything with them. Everything, all sort of, all the magic of playing live shows, recording music, and writing music. I mean, this isn't anything that I think is still the most shocking, magical thing in the world. So that's where all my energy goes. I'm not looking for any ways to augment that or profit off of it. So it was kind of came and went, and then. I saw today
they did get it taken down?
Yeah, it's taken down already, but they posted something like, clearly we've hit a nerve, and it's like, and you guys didn't hit a nerve. You're selling my shit without
it's
permission.
illegal.
It was just a strange one, but good on Bleachers fans for kind of finding it.
Also, that means you're so popular, someone wanted to rip your music.
That's a really optimistic way of looking at it.
So obviously we're here to talk about Take the Sadness Out of Saturday Night. I love this record, and I think it's because it surprised me when I first started it. 91 comes on and you have this beautiful sound, but it is so different than your previous work. I thought it was, I don't want to say darker, but it is. You still have those highs, but I feel like the lows are hitting really, really low. They're deep.
It was, being alone a lot in my studio during the pandemic, I think didn't change the writing of the album, but it changed a lot of the feeling of how it sounded. There was I just wanted it to sound a little lonelier. And then there's this other part of the album, which is the band playing live in the room, and that counterbalances it. But 91 definitely starts in a pretty intense way.
So would you say that your writing process ended up being a little different because you were kind of held up during a pandemic?
I don't think it changes the writing because I'm always sort of writing alone in a room. So it's always a bit of a pandemic. It changed the sound of the album because you are sort of following your times and you're reacting to how the world feels and how you feel. And if I was out there playing shows and seeing people, I would have had a different energy in the recording of it. So the two sides of the album, sound-wise, they're really affected by the pandemic. Is there's this lonely feeling on the album, and then there's this like super intense, oh my God, I got the band in the room somehow, and we're gonna play it like our heads on fire. Kind of both things going on.
Well, since you're about to actually go back out and be on tour, do you think performing them is gonna be different, performing some of these sadder, darker things in front of the high energy audience?
Yeah, they change. Like I think the interesting thing about songs in general is you can catch them at different moments, and sad songs aren't so sad depending on your mood, and songs that you thought were really joyous, you catch a lyric in if you're in a dark place. And the same thing happens live where the song is changed by the audience, and there's all these different interpretations of songs. So it's like a song like 91 live has become more of this like people latch on to some of the angrier lyrics in a triumphant way. you know, like you can dance with anyone, tattoo yourself a fucking sleeve. That's become a big lie in live. And I think that it feels more like armor. When I wrote it, it felt more sad. And now I hear it a little bit more through the ears of the kids who sing it back to me.
That's cool that your own interpretation of your music can change as you start performing it.
The song that is the single now, the song How Dare You Want More, which the video is all just clips from the live show. Everything about that song, the reason why we thought it could be a single, the reason I made a video for it is strictly because of the way that it was reacted to.
And you got to do that on SNL recently. Congratulations, that was awesome.
Thanks. It was really thrilling, and we tried to same thing, play it like we're at, you know, in the 45-minute mark of a show and everyone's loose and we're just playing our faces off.
Was performing for SNL for the first time with Bleachers specifically, does it feel different?
Yeah, massively. That was it was a really huge moment, and that Bleachers has just been on this long journey, and it's been a really powerful one. And moments like that give you a second to look back and think about how you got there.
Absolutely. Yeah. Speaking of your long journey, it's not just been with Bleachers. You know, before that you were in Fun, and I come from the super small town in Ashland, Kentucky, and back in like 2011 or something, you were there with Fun performing in an ice storm. I don't think there was more than 100 people, and now you're on SNL, you're doing these huge festival circuits, you have your own tour. What has that been like for you?
You always think about that. I grew up playing so many small shows and playing to no one and wondering if anyone's going to come. So you kind of always are left with these feelings of huge amazement and excitement that 5 people come to the show is no different than 100 people or 10,000 at that point. You just kind of ready to kind of like honor how wild it is that anyone can even get themselves to a show. And when you grow up playing small shows, you're really in touch with that because you see everyone, you see every person there, and you think to yourself, like, they got in a car, they bought a ticket. And I think with big crowds, if you didn't grow up that way, you could just see a big crowd, but I always just see like every person.
Oh, that's beautiful. About hitting the road again, during this time where some people are doing it, some people aren't, I know there's a mixture of feelings and nerves. I just kind of wanted to get your perspective on hitting the road again.
I think it's something that people need. I need it. The audience needs it. We need to be together. And I wouldn't judge anyone on either side of it if they felt comfortable coming to shows or not comfortable coming to shows. That was all personal decision. But I just think you feel it when people need you. I need people. They need me. And so we're going to take the risks and go out and play. And then but it's all a very personal decision. I don't judge anyone in any direction on this.
Especially with your album, because it was written during the pandemic, I feel like it's going to be such a release for people to go and hear that music live, be surrounded by other people who had those same darker feelings.
And I like taking it out of the pandemic, where it's not a thing that sort of lives in that moment, like bringing it out and playing it with people is really powerful, knowing where it came from.
Absolutely. I have to ask about your song with Bruce Springsteen. I know everyone asks you, you're probably tired of answering it.
That's not one that I could imagine getting old being excited about.
How did it come about? Did you already have a relationship with him?
He's a friend of mine, and I had written that song, and we were always like play each other music. So we got a studio in his house. We were just hanging out, and I played him that song that I'd written. And then kind of one thing led to another, and we were just messing with it, and he was singing on it, and it was just it just felt like messing around. It wasn't until a couple days later I was in the studio alone, and I listened back, and I thought, Jesus Christ, this really works. Because, when you're very influenced by someone, it's actually very hard to find a space where you can work together that doesn't feel like contrived or something. And it just works. It's a song about going back to New Jersey, where I'm from, and he brings in the second chorus, and he's obviously like the architect of all of New Jersey mythology anyway. I just was left with this feeling when I heard it of, I can't wait to put this out, which is a rare feeling, to be honest.
I think it's so cool how a home location can bring people together, people from different generations, even being from the same area.
It's often the same experience, like the stories he would tell about being from there resonated with me my whole life. and I felt very seen within it, and I felt like the place I was from had value. And he's the artist that made me think, these like sort of lonely stories of this place right outside the greatest city in the world is a really interesting lens to play your music through.
Absolutely. Bruce, just one of many incredible artists that you've gotten to work with. Do you find that you turn to someone frequently when you're stuck?
No, if I'm stuck, I don't really push on other people. I think it's a personal thing. If you're stuck, I kind of just put it down for a minute. I think being stuck isn't a problem. I think being stuck is time to take a little break. I think people make a lot of bad work when they try to like push through stuckness or something.
So that's kind of your process, is if you hit a wall, that's your sign to maybe put it down.
Yeah,
and pick
you
something
should
else up.
make things when you feel compelled to make them. I think that's sort of the way to be fair to your audience, not take up space.
I feel like everyone needs to take that mental note from you right now, put it on a t-shirt, wear it.
It's just how I've always been. I never want to, I make a lot of things right now. I feel really good about stuff I'm making, and I feel compelled to make it. But people don't make things to make them. People make them so they feel compelled to. And then when you start getting paid to do it, it could present a weird energy where you want to keep it going, and you're on some sort of rat race. And it's never. There's no proof that is any way to make your best work.
Yeah, your method definitely sounds like a more organic way to make stuff that actually means something to people.
I don't know. I think you have a gut feeling, and you sort of listen to it or not. But maybe y'all, ask me in a year. We'll see.
So your tour takes off in March. Do you think you're going to be writing while you're on tour?
It depends. It's kind of, you can't, planning to write is kind of an absurd idea. So you just, you get everything ready. I'll bring stuff out if I have ideas. Typically I do, but who knows?
Awesome.
I write less in the summer because I want to be outside more.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it because you just like being outside, or is it because you're looking for more inspiration, more stories?
No, I like to go outside and like play basketball or ride my bike, and so I'm just a little less in the writing mood. Whereas like there's something about, being indoors, you just kind of gravitate more towards wanting to write things down.
So when you're writing, you really wear your heart on your sleeve. I've noticed with your lyrics, which I think is why so many people are able to connect with you on that level. Do you find that it is hard to perform some of these songs in front of so many people?
Not in front of so many people. I find it can be a little bit exhausting to revisit some of the stuff every night, because if you don't, you gotta go there to play it, and it's a little emotionally exhausting. But I think that's just kind of occupational hazard, and I'm happy to do it. And I wouldn't play songs if I felt like I couldn't access it. There's certain songs I don't really play right now because I don't really feel it. So, but not in front of like a lot of people. I don't feel like exposed or anything. I just feel like it's like talking about something that is hard or emotional. Like sometimes you don't want to because you can't phone it in.
Do you have a song on the album that you purposely will not be performing for that reason, that you already know is just kind of off the table?
Called Strange Behavior and a song called What Do I Do With All This Faith? They're just a little like intense to access for the kind of show that I'm putting on right now, which is like a pretty big celebratory one. But like I've done a couple acoustic shows over the past year where I've felt compelled to play them. I think there's stuff that based on where you're at in life, you're going to want to play, and then you leave room to try other things.
So you said it's going to be big sound, big show. So when people are coming, they should not be prepared for a cry fest, is what you're saying?
Not that kind of crying.
Not till they go home.
Yeah.
I know we didn't have that much time with you today, so I'm trying to not keep you too long. No, okay. Do you want to do a lightning round version of this or that?
Please.
They're very surface level questions.
Let's go.
All right. Soda or juice?
Juice.
Morning or night?
Morning.
String instruments or percussion?
String. Always.
Stay in? Oh, you said string?
Yeah, definitely.
Stay in or go out?
Pass.
Pass. Twitter or Instagram?
Pass.
Oh, Cool Ranch or nacho cheese?
Dislike both.
What kind of chip do you eat?
I'm a Jew. You just don't use that many condiments.
Call or text?
Call.
Okay. I feel like that statement says a lot about who you are. A
Yeah,
call
we
person.
definitely-
And final important question: board games or video games?
Board games, 100%. Love them.
What's your favorite board game?
I love Monopoly. I just want to crush Monopoly all the time.
No one will ever play with me. Are you an aggressive Monopoly player?
Deeply aggressive. It brings out all the worst parts of my personality.
What property you going for first?
I just go for the cheap ones and I try to build quickly.
I'm a railroad aggressor.
I love the railroads, but you know,
They're my favorite. All right, Jack, thank you so much
Oh, nice
for
to talk to
chatting
you.
with us today. Your tour tickets went on sale today,
Yeah.
and I know some are sold out. You're not coming back to Phoenix, not on this particular tour. Maybe you'll add some dates.
We're adding dates. I don't. We're kind of figuring that out yet, but I love Phoenix, and I'll get there as soon as I can.
Yes, thank you. All right, thank you for your time.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.